What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about something very, very serious. Now, I don't know necessarily how I titled this video, so I apologize if there's any clickbait, but I truly don't think I'm going to say anything, or I don't think I framed anything in a clickbaity way. This is a serious issue, okay? It's a serious issue. We're going to be doing this for 3 different games. We're going to talk about Gotham Knights right now. I'm going to have videos over the next couple days on Hogwarts and on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and talk about if this live service BS that Warner Bros. Is going to push very heavily on us, which I'll read you guys the article and we'll talk about it, if that will impact these games. So I'll say spoilers right now to kind of, get you guys caught up to speed really quickly. I don't think Gotham Knights will necessarily be impacted. However, we could be wrong. They could have lied to us, but we're going to go over the specifics. I would say, though, personally, I think this game is relatively safe, whereas Suicide Squad is just absolutely doomed, by the way, okay? But we're going to go over the entire thing. Okay, so it came from IGN. IGN broke the story. I tweeted it out, and it was spotted. I'm going to read it from their article. Spotted by Twitter user MaroNL3, an advert for a games production NBA intern includes a section that reads, Warner Bros., basically, right? Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment is currently involved in a variety of new projects ranging from casual games to core games featuring our well-known franchises on all platforms, console, digital, mobile, with a heavy focus on live service. All right, so what does live service technically mean? Well, IGN actually does a pretty reasonable job explaining it. Live service refers to the process of continually updating a game after release to keep players invested. Nice way of saying it, real beautiful way. Adding new features, items, storylines, and more, and has become an increasingly profitable model for developers and publishers across the industry. So again, I think they do a really good job of making it seem good, right? In reality, let's be honest here, the live service approach can work, has worked, most times, especially when new people or new developers, new publishers jump in to the bounce house of wonders that is live service. Normally, it results in catastrophic failure. It could result in the game just being downright awful. It could result in public trust being downright destroyed between consumer, us, and them, okay? So in general, I would say, and I'm not going to speak for you guys. I think it's important that we all have our own opinions. If you guys disagree, it's totally cool. I am not a fan of live service, and I do not want a live service or a games as a service. That's the other one, GAAS. You probably see people say that. I do not want that touching certain games. Now, other games maybe, or I guess more just like fine-tuned for it, okay? It does depend, I guess, on the game, but just in general, again, it's probably not a good idea. There are ways of doing it good, but what ends up happening, especially if you guys are like, okay, well, you sound very, mad and like frustrated over like nothing. I am terrified that it just means that we don't get a good game at launch. There are redemption stories like Star Wars Battlefront 2 where that game became amazing. It took years to get there, but it really did become such an amazing game. But at the launch, it really was, it had the core mechanics that were good, but it really didn't have much else, okay? And that's not necessarily the greatest example of games as a service anyway, okay? So Gotham Knights, we're here to talk about Gotham Knights. Is Gotham Knights impacted? Well, I know when I tweeted this out, I said, and now to my credit, I said Suicide Squad is going to be most affected, Hogwarts is probably going to be least affected, and Gotham Knights is probably going to be a test run of sorts. That's what I said. I'm going to stand firm on that. So anybody saying, oh, Alex is out there saying this game is going to be a live service game, it's going to be a catastrophic failure. No, that's literally fake news. I never said that, okay? I think this game is going to be like a light test run. You know what I mean? You're just getting off, they're getting the plane revved up, and they're getting it turned, they're getting it ready for liftoff. But then Suicide Squad is the liftoff, and it's just going to go straight. It may actually go straight up to the sun, to be honest with you guys, and blow up. I know they said that they think this game, and credit where credit's due, they did make it pretty clear of where they stand with this game. They told IGN that it's very much not designed as a game as service. Now, I don't know why they worded it like that. They should have just said, no, this is not a live service game. No, this is not a game as a service game, okay? They didn't say that. They said it's very much not designed for. So they it's almost like they got their words twisted there. Again, what this would basically mean is the game itself would probably be very hollow. It would be very shallow. It wouldn't have a lot, and it would be bulked up later down the line, whether it be you have to pay for it in terms of DLC or season pass or free things being added to the game. And again, for those saying that they don't want these games to be Avengers, or stop comparing it, Alex or Slickmuff or whoever says it, stop comparing it to Avengers. Well, let me tell you, if the game is hollow and they are adding stuff afterwards, that is literally what Avengers did. So we don't want that, right? And Gotham Knights shouldn't be that. But I do think that they're going to try to implement that a little bit in there. Now, again, there's more games than technically, I want to talk about these three because these are the big three that I'm into. These are the big three I cover on the channel. Back for Blood is now looking very scary, and not in terms of zombies, but in terms of this, okay? Lego Star Wars, there's no way that game is not going to be made for this, right? And again, that's what's kind of leading people to thinking Gotham Knights isn't. To me, honestly, Hogwarts Legacy doesn't seem like a game that would be a game as a service because it's a open world RPG. What kind of open world RPG game would you design around? I guess, oh my God, like a Fallout 76? Please, for the love of dear Jesus Christ, don't do that. So I'm getting off track. I don't want to talk about Hogwarts Legacy yet. I'll melt down in its own video. But Gotham Knights, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough to talk about. What I think could happen, and in fact, I've talked about this for months and months and months, and it could be what, we could go down to. If they want it to be, again, like a test run, what they could do is give us more characters and give us more villains as like a DLC thing afterwards, which is actually what I said. Remember, I think a good idea for DLC, for future stuff when this game is out, is to give us more characters to play as. People obviously want more characters, and whatever villains you don't include, you could give us a simple hour and a half, 2 hour long quest line with that villain and bundle that into like a DLC. It would be very reasonable, I think. I think it would be worth paying for if they wanted to charge for it. The issue is, if they're designing these things more for live service, it means that the game we're getting is not going to be good. So that means that we may get stuff later down the line, but the base game may only be 10, 15 hours. It may only have 5 or 6 villains, stuff like that. Again, I am not guaranteeing, I'm not assuming we're getting really anything. I'm going in kind of with my eyes closed and just like, give me whatever you think is right, and if I don't like it, I'm going to criticize it. If I like it, I'll praise it, okay? That's kind of where I'm at, right? I think that if they did that, that would be a pretty stupid thing, right? Arkham Knight had a really good thing going with the villain wheel, with a lot of villains. You would probably want Gotham Knights to expand upon that, right? Again, I get Rocksteady, Warner Bros. Montreal, they're different, but I think that's the path. You should probably go more villains, more diverse villains, not give us like 3 to 5, and then give us like 4 more in terms of like afterwards, like a live service thing. Again, the upgrading, the gear, the skills, the stuff that they talked about is going to be in Gotham Knights. That stuff is scary when it comes to live service, okay? So again, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be like, and I'm not saying this game's going to be a disaster, because again, I know what people are going to say. The haters, the trolls out there, as you guys know, they're pretty stupid. So I think I want to make it very clear, I'm still very excited for this game. I'm ready for this game. I'm going to play it. I'm going to give it I'm not going to go in saying, oh my God, this game's going to be awful. No, I've never said that. I never will, and I'm not going into it like that. But there has been warning signs. I've called them out. I've actually been the only one that I've seen on the internet, really, that's severely criticized this game while also staying relatively positive. Okay, I'm the only one. So I have called it out. And now we have this, and if you add this, if this actually happens to Gotham Knights, this live service thing, and you combine it with the warning signs we already have on this game, we're in some trouble. And final thing I'll say, because I know, again, when I tweeted this, somebody even said to me, like, why would they lie? Like, it's going to come back to them. Well, number one, gaming developers and publishers lie literally all the time. They lie through their teeth. They do it for fun. A lot of times they do it to keep things secretive, okay? But they also do it to not get backlash, okay? To avoid backlash. I mean, so if you're thinking, oh my God, again, Warner Bros. Montreal, there are overlords. Again, there's people that think like that, and you really shouldn't. There are overlords. They would never betray us. They never steer us wrong. Again, 7 years. Think about what they've done in those 7 years. They could absolutely lie to us. Am I saying they are lying to us? No, I'm not saying that. Could they be lying to us? Absolutely. Could they not be? Absolutely. Again, it's just something we have to think about. But yeah, I mean, they easily could have lied with this game as a service thing. They easily could have, and just to kind of avoid backlash. And final thing, the really last thing is, if it happens, it really is just awful because we've been looking forward to these games for so long, and they come out and they're, in whatever state they are. The thing to remember, though, is sometimes you need things like this to happen to truly blow up a system in a way to kind of restart it. Obviously game as a service isn't going anywhere. Obviously live serve. And again, like, these aren't always awful things. They are not always awful, okay? I can't stress that enough. But when they are done bad, sometimes they have to be done bad in order to call it out and say, yeah, you know what? We all have a problem with it. They're going to lose a ton of money. They're going to lose a ton of, like, trust, okay? The game's going to be received bad, all that good stuff. And I mean, it is good in a way because then they improve and we fix it going forward, right? I guess if they never made the mistake in the first place, like, that would probably be better anyway because then we wouldn't have anything to fix. But sometimes it takes this stuff. So if Warner Bros. Is really up there saying, you know what? And by the way, it's not Warner Bros. Montreal. It's not Rocksteady. It's not Avalanche Software. It's not, Turtle Rock. It wouldn't be any of these studios. Think about with Shadow of War. It was Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Made the Monolith, like, last second, inject these kind of mechanics, these microtransaction mechanics into their game. Remember, they did it in the last couple months of the game's development because Warner Bros. Made them, okay? So, by the way, I'm not, like, attacking any employee of anybody. It's actually the highest of the highs that are doing this, okay? And again, they think that they know what's going on. They really don't because they don't know what gamers think or anything like that, but they think they do. And sometimes it takes them to do a stupid move like this. And yes, it would hurt Warner Bros. Montreal and hurt Rocksteady, so on and so on. But if we send a message back to them saying, oh F no, it's not happening, then they would say, oh, Jesus, okay, we overstepped there, right? So let me know, guys, in the comments below. I know this was a kind of different video there. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think they'll try to insert, again, my final prediction is this will be a test run. It'll be light. I think we have to call it out. Like, if there's anything live service here that's kind of bad, we need to call it out because I really do think this is a test run, whereas Suicide Squad is going to be, okay, full on, let's just throw this thing out there, okay? And that's something we'll have to talk about, again, in a separate video. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, all that good stuff. I'm going to do another Gotham Knights video in a few days. I actually was planning to do a different one, which was replaced by this one, so we'll do some different kind of videos over the next few days, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.